Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I know it's an intimate crowd, but why don't you give me a little spirit of aloha? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Aloha! Thank you so much. My name is Rob Fukuzaki from ABC7. I'm the proud broadcast sponsor with the LA Rams. I see a lot of my colleagues in the media right here, and I promise you I will get out of the shots once I introduce everybody. We are so excited for today's announcement. Back in September, I was at SoFi Stadium covering the visitors from Hawaii and the Visitors Bureau from Hawaii. That was in the infant stages of what has transpired into today's announcement. I was born in LA, but my family moved to Hawaii when I was 3, and I grew up a huge Rams fan, cheering on my favorite players like Lawrence McCutcheon, John Cappelletti, and of course those quarterbacks, James Harris, a little Dieter Brock in there, Pat Hayden, and of course Vince Ferragamo, and the defensive players like, Jack Youngblood. There was also Jim Youngblood, Fred Dreyer, Hacksaw Reynolds. All these guys, as you know, I'm pretty old if I cheered for all these guys. But of course, I was one of many Rams fans growing up, and that fan base continues to grow. And the various generations of Kama'ainas will be cheering for the Rams if they are akamai, which is smart, and they are, and become supporters of the team. Right now, I'd like to kick things off by bringing up the governor of Hawaii, Josh Green, who's also the nation's only doctor governor. So, Governor Green, MD, please.
Thank you, brother. Aloha. First, let me say it is extraordinary to be here in Los Angeles with good friends and family. There are people to acknowledge. We are grateful to the Rams team president, GM. You guys have been amazing. This team has embraced us, has embraced Hawaii. And as was said, this is a historic opportunity for us to support the Rams and the Rams to support Hawaii. We have come to the conclusion that a partnership is in order. And through the incredible work of our HTA leadership, we've got Mufi Hahnemann, Tadapo, my Senate and House colleagues here today. We wanted to find a way to thank LA for one huge reason, which if I say nothing else today, it should be this. Mahalo. Mahalo means thanks, and it's thanks from our heart. Our state went through a very, very tragic and tough circumstance in 2023, in August of 23. On August 8th, we had a fire, a terrible wildfire, which devastated a big part of Maui, Lahaina. And we're healing, we're growing, we're returning to a place where we can live again. But the Rams stepped up, and they ran their Malama, which means caring, campaign for us, and brought incredible resources to help us heal, reestablish the need to travel to Hawaii, to Maui. And we know there are so many people across California that see Hawaii as that place to go, that wonderful, really place to rest from the mainland. But during those tough moments, you guys came through for us. So again, from all the people, from the First Lady Jamie, from my kids, from me, from all of us, again, mahalo for helping us heal. And now we're taking the next step. So what did it make us believe? It made us believe that you were the team, the partner, the market to come to Hawaii. We began just to think, what could it be? Why does Hawaii, without an NFL team, not have someone come from the NFC? I have a little bit of Pittsburgh blood coursing through my veins, so Steeler Nation out there, I'm not selling you out. This is the NFC, but they are awesome, these Rams guys. How do we establish a marketing relationship where people will come from California in greater numbers? How do we support the Rams? How do we support what they've done, which is extraordinary at SoFi? How do we connect Japan, where we've got the LA Dodgers and Shohei and this incredible energy that team brings, in addition to these champion Rams who won a title not very long ago. So we humbly reached out, and they agreed to do a minicamp, to start being present on Maui, to be at the Fairmont Kealani, to be an official home of the Rams, and I know their team will talk about that. they gave us resources for something special to us, which is girls flag football. And I can't tell you how that affected the young women in our state. We just finished our first season, much because of what you donated and supported us with. And we had 400 local student athletes, young women, thriving on the field. We had one woman who led her team to the state championship, who could throw it 45 yards on a dime. You know, she and Matt Stafford would be in the same moment if we brought that young lady out, I will tell you. And I also just believe that all of that, plus what you did for Lahaina Luna, the high school, the renovation project, it helped us get through our toughest times. So your partnership, the times that you helped us come back off of COVID, again, huge numbers of people from California are committed to Hawaii. I was lieutenant governor during those dark times. It was very difficult for all of us, but for a state that relies on tourism, we had to have you, and you came through for us again. So this is our opportunity to bond with the LA Rams. This is our opportunity to say, you are fantastic, you're the people we trust, and we want to have a positive impact and a generational relationship. So our hope is to have some of our UH games come and play at SoFi. That's part of our commitment. Our hope is to, perhaps when you guys are overwhelmed by the Olympic Games and the World Cup and all that, we wouldn't mind so much we get our stadium done to have the Rams come play a season over in Hawaii. But we certainly will be a welcoming family and partner for the foreseeable future. As long as I'm given the honor to be governor, the Rams are going to be in my heart, and our team is going to be there with you. So again, thank you, Kev. You know, it's amazing. Thank you, Senator DeCoite and Representative Tam for coming over, and Mufi and Todd. Thank you for showing this community that we're going to embrace them all the way. So Rams, get yourselves in the Super Bowl, and maybe it'll be Steelers Rams next year in the Super Bowl. But I believe in what you guys are doing here, and you guys have the right values. That's why it's a great match for Hawaii. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Governor. You know who's going to win that Super Bowl, though. I'm so sorry. Well, Governor got to meet Magic Johnson. He got to spend a little time with him. He was sharing some of his photos as he has been spending a few days enjoying Los Angeles. Right now, I'd like to introduce Senator Lynn DeCoite for a few remarks. Senator.
Wow. I'm just going to say aloha. Thank you, LA. Thank you, LA Rams. I am truly humbled to be here on behalf of the Hawaii State Senate, myself as the Senate Chair for Economic Development and Tourism. My district is portions of Maui, Molokai, Lanai, as well as Ko'olave. You know, like Governor said earlier, you folks have stepped up to the plate. When the fires occurred, Governor asked me to come in with him into Lahaina, and it was nothing that I would ever imagine. And the trials, the tribulations that we've gone through, the hardships, you know, you guys were there for Lahaina, as well as the funding that came in, you guys were there for Kula. Let's not forget Upcountry that also had the fires. This partnership that we're bridging with you folks, I love sports. I was always involved with sports way back when, and there has been no team that I know of today, like the LA Rams, that have stepped up, have truly pushed out aloha. Of course, I just gotta say, puka nakua, yeah, I was gonna wear my jersey, but I had strict orders here. But I believe that sports has diversified our tourism industry. We have always looked towards tourism, but we haven't diversified where sports brings our kids out, they force them to hold GPA. And when kids want to play, they start to want to learn. And I am so excited about you guys coming. I'm so excited about the support behind the women's flag football. We get some women that actually can play in the NFL. I just gotta say that. They're tough, they're strong. But as long as this relationship goes forward, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Again, mahalo to all of you for having us here, and I look forward to seeing you guys all in Maui. Thank you, and mahalo.
All right, thank you so much, Senator. Right now, I'd like to bring up Representative Adrian Tam for a few words. Thank you.
Aloha, and thank you so much for having us here today. Before I begin, I just want to take this moment to thank the Los Angeles Rams for all the hard work that they've put in to help us recover from the Lahaina wildfire. As was mentioned, we are still recovering and we're still healing, but we would be in a much more worse place had it not been with the help of Los Angeles Rams as well as California. So thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. As a Waikiki representative, I don't live in Maui, but we definitely have that closed, tight-knit community where we all feel the hurt. And I'm excited to welcome the Los Angeles Rams to Hawaii so we can not only foster more economic stimulus and grow our economies, but to grow a fan base for the Los Angeles Rams in Hawaii as well so that we can continue to have them to come visit us when we build our new stadium. This is a win-win for us because not only do I see this as us building a fan base for the LA Rams and stimulating our economy, but we also have an opportunity to inspire kids and adults as well to pursue their wildest dreams of what they want to do in life. So I'm just super excited, and I just want to thank all of you for welcoming us today. You have a fantastic facility, by the way. I'm just standing on this grass, and I can feel how incredible and how fresh it is right now. Oh, this turf. So with that, thank you so much, and we look forward to having you in Hawaii, and I look forward to flying over to Maui to welcome all of you as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Right now, I'd like to bring up the man who is he's responsible so much of this facility here in Woodland Hills, first at Cal Lu when the Rams returned to Los Angeles, winning the Super Bowl, building an incredible team with incredible leadership, and now this partnership with Hawaii. Right now, I'd like to bring up the president of your Los Angeles Rams, Kevin Demoff.
I appreciate everybody being here. It's easy for me to remember 6 years ago, standing in Waikiki talking about the partnership to bring a preseason game to Honolulu. And what was so exciting then was wondering what the response would be. And by the time I left Hawaii that evening, the game had sold out in essentially 12 hours. And to this date, I believe it was the most attended event at Aloha Stadium, beating Bruno Mars, which was a good one to pass right at the end. And I remember I was just joking. Jim Hill on the field pregame, 95 degrees, wearing his suit. And so if there's one goal I have this time, it's to get Jim in an Aloha Hawaiian shirt and out of a suit as we do minicamp. But we had such a joy playing in Honolulu and at Aloha Stadium in 2019, and since then we've always wondered how could we get back, and without a stadium to play a preseason game, we've really worked with HTA and all of our friends in Hawaii to think about what would be a meaningful impact, to bring our team back. And we've kicked around this idea, and this is pretty symbolic. Our off-season always starts with Les Snead going to Lanai to clear his head for 2 weeks. And so all the good things that happen for the Rams start in February with Les's trip to Lanai. And now our off-season will end with our entire organization in Maui practicing for its residents, for the state of Hawaii, and for all of our fans from Los Angeles who want to come travel. So I can't thank Governor Green, Representative Tam, Senator DeCoite, Mufi, Todd enough for helping make this idea come true. And for us as an organization that likes to push the envelope of first, the idea of taking our entire organization to Maui to celebrate the end of the offseason, our players, our coaches, their hard work, to bring them together, to give our fans a chance to really travel with the Rams, to come be part of this week, to celebrate with our team, to be around it. It's so different than the regular season when we travel. It's focused on playing a game and getting a win. This is really going to be a celebration of all things Rams, a partnership with the state of Hawaii, with Hawaii Tourism Authority, and really bringing joy to the community of Maui. And whether it's the events we're going to do on the field at War Memorial Stadium, the clinics we're going to put on through the community throughout the week, chipping in on the rescue efforts in Lahaina, or just having a great time in Maui, it is going to be a special 4 days for organization, and hopefully something that the rest of the NFL really looks at celebrating as we get to to the end of the offseason. So we are thrilled to welcome you to Woodland Hills, the partnership that started kicked off at SoFi this fall. Unfortunately at that time we didn't know, how tied together we would be by devastating wildfires when we made this announcement. But I think that strengthened the bond between our islands and Los Angeles. It's made this an even more important event, and we can't wait to fly next month and really go end our off season just not with a bang, but with some aloha. So many thanks to the Fairmont Kealani to be the Rams house, or I should say the Rams Hale, for our time while we were there, to the Four Seasons, for Maui for being amazing partners. And this is probably the one press conference where the media might be happier than anybody else. I'm sure the chance maybe to have to come cover Minicamp for the first time in Maui will be great, but we encourage our fans to join us on this trip. We encourage all of Hawaii to be part of the celebration, and we can't wait to see you all in a month on the island. So thank you.
So, President Demoff, my son, Sammy, who's 14, wanted me to make sure we gave you a state coin. And he said, send this over to the president because you gave him a Puka Nakua signed football through our dear friends. And he was over the moon. So we just are grateful. We're really grateful to your great franchise.
Well, this is a great gift, but we'll make sure Puka gives him another football in person when we're there next month.
We will never be able to quiet Sam down if that happens. So thank you. Thank you, President.
Kevin and Governor Green, if you could just come back up, because we're going to just have a quick Q&A. If there are any questions out there, just raise your hand and I'll get out of the way and they'll answer your question. So is there anything for Governor or for Mr. Demoff? Any questions? No? Yes?
Going back to what you guys talked about with the preseason game in Hawaii 6 years ago, Governor Green, what do you remember about the magnitude of that opportunity, and how does an opportunity like this have the chance to maybe build on that next time?
It was a very big deal for us. I was lieutenant governor at the time. I'm obviously a huge football fan, and in all candor, like the Rams quite a lot all the way back to my youth. It was an electric franchise always, even back to Ferragamo and all these great players. I went to the Steelers-Rams games also in Pittsburgh, and I picked that game because the Rams were there, and there was a Pittsburgh boy on your team, small guy named Aaron from your franchise, and in Hawaii, we don't have professional teams. We have a lot of great athletes that end up in the NFL. We're hoping that actually this will be an opportunity to inspire more of our young, talented kids. A lot of them are from Polynesia. We have the great Polynesian Bowl. We've got Jesse out there. I know he was with the other franchise, but we have a huge talent pool across Polynesia. A lot of Samoan leaders that come into the league. Troy Polamalu, deep roots through California and Hawaii and Samoa. So it's big for us. That was right before we began to descend into very tough times globally. And otherwise, I think we would have had more opportunities in the immediate present. So you guys can inspire our young people to head towards not just being professional athletes, but being in broadcasting, being in entertainment law, being in leadership positions. It's really good for us. And so there's that. Plus, as we build our program, build our new stadium, we're going to have a new athletic director here in the next couple months. They will get to hopefully have mentors from the Rams. And that will help us develop our sports culture in Hawaii. So I hope that is really clear how big a deal it is that your leadership was willing to enter into this relationship with ours.
Stu, I remember vividly our players getting to Honolulu and about 20 of them going for a swim. And I think 10 of them had never swam before. And I was pretty sure we were going to lose Darrell Henderson to the surf somewhere, in Ko'olina. But I just remember the joy on our players' faces and getting to take that time in and the bonding it was for them. And, that was in the middle of training camp and a really great respite, for them. And a few of them had, their significant others, but our coaches, a lot of them brought their partners. And we always thought it would be great to make this more of a family event. And so I think for us, my memories, the game was amazing. And I remember Aloha Stadium being full and shaking. And a lot of times when a building is shaking, you think that's a really good thing. You've brought some enjoyment. I was a little bit more concerned maybe about Aloha Stadium time, but thinking, how do we make this a greater event for our players, our coaches, our families, really travel together, connect, and those bonds that you saw with them, in that water, and thankfully they all got out, pretty well, which was great. And we've always thought about, how do we do this in a more meaningful way? And what I remember too was when our players came, when they got to Hawaii, so many of us who were born and raised in California, know we go to Hawaii on vacation, we know of that partnership, that relationship, but so many of our players had never been to Hawaii. And it was, it seemed like such an amazing experience for them to get to experience the culture and the hospitality and to see the Hawaiian Islands at their best. And I think this is going to be another great opportunity, for that. And we're fortunate to have the players like Puka Nakua who have been there, or Matthew Stafford, who I saw a video of throwing a football there either this year or last year. But, for our draft picks, for our young incoming rookie class, for our players, this is a great chance for them really to share the special connection that California and the Hawaiian Islands have. And we've been trying to find a way back, and I think this is going to be a great way to do so.
Kevin, how was it to break the news to the players that they're going to have Minicamp in Maui?
I don't know who got to break that news to the players, or Tony. I don't know whether it was Sean or Les or Coach did. So, I'm sure you'll have to ask the players when they're done working around. But usually you don't get a ton of pushback on those things. So I will make sure that they have a great opportunity and a great time. Yeah, so this arrangement is for this year. We're hopeful to be able to continue it and see how it goes and where we can go from there. I think with the building, when we went in 2019, it was because the Coliseum was being renovated. We didn't have a place to play in that preseason. Governor Green and I have been talking for the past few years. We would love to see a stadium get built there, and as soon as one did, I think we would love to get back there for preseason. We were joking here in 2028. When our building is being used for the Olympics, could be a great time for us to get back if they're able to move forward. But for us, this has been a partnership. We started in 2019. We've worked together over time, and we really want to grow our roots in Hawaii, from flag football to helping the high school program grow. Hawaii is a football mad state, and when you think about the opportunity for us to have millions of people who love football just a 5-hour flight away from SoFi Stadium, and while that's a long flight, it's basically the first place that Hawaiians can get to the mainland. We want them to be a presence regularly at SoFi Stadium. We would love to host UH for games, as they grow, their football stature. So for us, this is a truly symbiotic relationship that we hope grows over time, but this actual partnership is just a year.
So the president's very humble. So my expectation is, as long as I'm governor, I'd like the Rams to be coming. And that would, if things go according to our hopes and plans as a family, for a few years. Beyond that, this is an open invitation to the Rams ownership, who I love. If the Rams and the leaders and the ownership decided they wanted to partner in our stadium, we would make this a relationship in perpetuity. And I know that's a big check to write. We're intending to build, the first phase is a $400 million opening salvo for our stadium. Another $400 million will get us there. We're having good discussions with very prominent people across California. That's why one of the reasons I'm here this week. But without a doubt, the door is open first to the Rams. If it was something that really made sense, we could make Hawaii a full-time home in partnership with the stadium, the entertainment district, and it's very consistent with what we and the amazing development that you have going on at SoFi. We would be smaller, but you would then have the presence in the islands. So if ownership is listening, give me a call on my cell, because it's an open door to have a forever relationship with the Rams.
Okay, I'm going to bring Joanna up right now, and she's going to wrangle everybody up to take a couple of pictures, and we're going to have a presentation of Jersey right here. So thank you so much for being here. We're looking forward to this incredible opportunity in June. Maui is one of my favorite places. Our friends used to visit there all the time, and so many great memories. And Kurt Sandoval has already beaten me to the punch. He's going to be taking the trip. So aloha, brother. Have fun. Mahalo, everybody, for being here.